So, and my Saturn happens to be in Aquarius, so it's gonna see what the fuck's gonna happen.
You're gonna blast off into the fifth dimension,
Yeah.
and you're never gonna be seen again.
I'm gonna be around. I'm here. I'm here. They're
Okay,
gonna see me.
they're
I'm gonna
gonna
make sure they see me.
I'll go and see it. Maybe I can get High Elven Wisdom on.
Hmm.
She's always oh my goodness. All right, we're live. Whatever, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We have friends with us this evening. Richie Breathe, Alchemy. Hello, hello. Happy solstice, happy magic day. Kunum. Am I pronouncing that right? Hessa. Hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Happy to be here. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna merry we're gonna jam, we're gonna talk about Titans and Age of Aquarius, and just all around how to move forward. You guys want to say anything? Want to give a little personal intro of yourselves?
Well, everybody knows I'm Alchemy of Life, sole owner of Alchemy of Life Co. I've been on here numerous times. You guys know me. We're gonna dive deep today. We're gonna dive deep, but we're also gonna have some fun. Might be some music, a little tuning fork action, a little music from Keith. I'm just in the background.
Just ding,
Yeah.
ding. If you guys think the aliens are coming, not that they're not coming, but it's also alchemy dinging 528 in your ears.
I actually had this weird dream last night where I'm two ETs came to me in my dream and they posed as my brother-in-law's parents, and they were like these huge humanoids. They're like really really tall and skinny, and you could tell they were not of this planet. I shook one of their hands, and then I just went back to my room. It's kind of weird.
You left them in the living room or what?
They were my mom was in the kitchen with them. I just shook hands with them. I said, "Hey, what's up?"
The most casual alien interaction.
Yeah, just like, "Hey, I'm one of you guys."
Nice, I like it.
Well, I think they've been here. I think we might be the aliens, or if we go by the definition of what alien is, it's just something that's foreign, you know. So something foreign to us is just alien.
Copy. Sorry if you guys hear weird noises in the background. My brother's sleeping and he's snoring super loud. Every once in a while, like a lurch comes. Nice. We have some topics. I have one big question that I guess I can hit to both of you guys, and you can rock paper scissors. I was talking about it earlier.
Okay.
Um, the 21st ascension, conjunction of the two planets, Star of Bethlehem, this whole moving into the age of Aquarius, this whole shebang, and everyone's talking about ascending to the fifth dimension. I was watching a Ralph Smart video earlier today, and I was like, Ralph, you're still here though. So what is it? Is when someone is moving to the fifth dimension, like what do we have to redefine fifth dimension? Is that because that's what that like conclusion was? Maybe
Oh,
everyone's got a different definition. Or like
okay.
it's here,
No.
it's not here.
Um, and I believe that a lot of us, because we have this alienated sense of what that may be due to our physical side. So what moving through the dimensions means after third dimension, which is physical, everything is non-physical. So it's moving into for the fourth dimension, which is a portal. Well, in the middle of between the fourth and fifth is a portal, and everything is like, fourth dimension is time and space, mentioned in the Emerald Tablets. The fifth dimension is the astral plane. So in Hermetics, they teach us, hermetically what something like means is like the physical plane, the mental plane, and the astral plane. So we're moving from the physical plane, 3D, mental plane, 4D, 5D, the astral plane. So that means more things. That means if you've been doing the work and different things like that, you'll be able to go. You're probably already in four. you're less physical, and you're already in the time and space, and you're moving into 5D, which is just another form of consciousness, basically. So it just means your consciousness is rising. So you'll be able to access certain things that people who are still in 3D cannot. They're still just on a more physical based. You know, they can't they don't believe in it unless they see it, feel it, or touch it type of thing. You know, and those who are going from 3D to 4D, and if they get lucky, they shoot through the portal into the 5D if their frequency is high enough. Um, they're dealing more with
And
time.
disappear?
Well, no, not like that. It's more like they'll shoot. Their consciousness will shoot into more of the astral plane, more on that dimension. That's the form of thought that they will be on is
Oh,
more
okay.
a lot more spiritual, but in like a healthy way.
I see. Okay, that's that. Okay,
Like
you got
they
that.
they make you think that it's some place that you're gonna go. Like the rapture is just moving from one dimension to another, and it's just waves of consciousness.
Because a lot of people are talking about the split. It's like, oh, it's a split, or it's ascending to 5D and two worlds and this and that. And it's like,
Yeah,
does that
yeah.
mean after? Does that mean a chunk of the world disappears and leaves the
Word.
physical realm and you're clothed? All right,
The
Richie, hit me.
I think I got something
oh,
for. All right, so check this. In my mind, what I'm seeing happen right now is kind of like the switch from AM/FM to HD radio.
Ooh, I like it.
Right. So there's an ascending pattern of consciousness of certain individuals, certain forms of signal that are coming through that have found out because of the experiences of 2020 that we have to enter 2021 with a different brain on. However,
Correct.
if we enter 2021 with the same brain on that we had when we entered 2020, it's like we're insisting that we're going to stay on these lower terrestrial wavelengths. So we're going to interact with lower terrestrial thoughts, feelings, and people,
yeah.
rather than individuals who are beginning to embrace their higher nature of controlling their state from within rather than reacting to stimuli, therefore broadcasting a higher metric or higher wavelength of stimuli, which will be an emotional and intellectual world, because we'll understand to live differently is survival necessary rather than trying to fight tooth and nail to live the same. What do you think?
100%. I feel like in that case we got to take out that whole 3D, 4D, 5D nonsense.
It's a spectrum, and see, all I did was take that spectrum and apply it to a different metaphor. And
Yeah.
the issue is never the words, the issue is the concept. So maybe we need to throw it all out and say, now it's time for drop D tuning. Everybody in the universe has got to switch to drop D to keep going. And if you don't, you're going to be in the other tuning. And we already know that tuning doesn't work for this song.
Yeah. You guys talk amongst yourself. Someone rang the doorbell. I have no idea who's here.
Rocket,
Cool.
Pizza Man.
Yeah. So it's like so like when he was talking about like two worlds splitting, so that's where quantum entanglement comes in.
Facts, bro, for sure.
It's like you have this Earth, so this the lower part of Earth,
Uh-huh.
and you remember the Venn diagram they showed us in school?
Yeah.
So
Vesica Pisces.
Yep, Pisces Vesica and quantum entanglement, that's what they're showing us. So the so-called fourth dimension would be the Pisces Vesica because the vagina is where time and space, aka the womb, that's where we go to grow. Time and space being the structure in which you can be inside, and time what is allotted together to be able to grow, or it's allotted for growth, kind of like being in your mom's stomach for 9 months. It'd be like a physical form of the fourth dimension if we really want to go there. And you have the 3D is here, the 4D is in the middle, the vagina, so it's the portal that shoots us from one side to the other. We quantum tunnel one way or the other. So to quantum tunnel to 5D, your frequency has to be really, really high. So you shoot over into 4, you have that hibernation period. So we had a hibernation period here in 2020. Everybody's inside, and a lot of people they're either evolving or they're devolving.
Right.
No.
But regardless what's happening, something's going on. It's not
Yeah.
stasis.
Mm-hmm. And then if you, like you said, if you hit that switch, because we shouldn't go into 2021 with the same mindset. you had some sort of growth, then you shoot over because your frequency's high enough into a
Yeah.
higher consciousness, so-called 5D, which is like the astral plane, which is like becoming like more. To me, it's like becoming more spiritual on a healthier or higher on a higher frequency. It's like in a superhero movie, the difference between a superhero and the people they save, who are more physical. Kind of, it's like superhero, they can manifest their powers at will through thought, and that's where the fifth dimension is. You can manifest at will through thought a lot quicker than you can on a more physical plane. It takes a lot more time and space. A lot, you have to go through that growth. So
Right.
it's like on the fifth dimension, you kind of have to watch your thoughts. So it's like a meditative frequency. You just have to go into self.
Right. You're required to be aware of the fact that thoughts make reality. So therefore, the discipline is always within your thoughts.
Exactly.
Welcome back, Joe.
What up?
Chilling.
How's it
Pizza?
go? No, not pizza. Not pizza. Would it be bad form to have pizza on a night like this? Bad form pizza. I say no. For voting. For the record, I'm saying
So I
pizza.
just gotta ask, there's the self-driving pizza cars where you are, Keith? Because I know that's somewhere in California.
Wait, start over? What? Self-timing pizza? What?
The self-driving pizza cars, Domino got a contract with these autonomous cars where you would order on Domino's and it would drive a robotic car to you. And then an iPad in the back window, you'd beep in the code. And then it would open up from the oven that's inside of the place. So you'd get like piping hot pizza from the car. But I don't know.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's the future.
It's the future indeed. Oh my god. I hadn't heard anything about that. I don't know if I want to walk outside. That's part of the pizza. It's like you enter the door in your boxers and you
Hey.
exchange at the door.
Amazon Ring door.
I need the robot to get out of the car and drive up to the
Yeah, knock on the door.
door. I need him to interact with me. I can ask him how his day is going, that kind of thing.
Yeah, give him $5 tip.
Do the
Whatever.
human thing with the robot, and then there was a couple things I wanted to add into that, but then I missed that whole thing. So we're just gonna have to say, I don't know where you went with that conversation, but where I left off was the analogy was great of AM to FM. That's dope. That's how I see it, because it's almost like I don't necessarily like want to like leave. Like what? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to just disappear and appear in another realm kind of thing. What's that?
It's primitive screen share, but it's the pizza car.
Primitive screen share. Is that a TV on your wall? What am I looking at? Oh, it's already up and running.
What the hell?
Wow.
I'll send you the links for sure.
Oh, that was your computer screen. I thought you showed me your wall. I was like, that is you have a video built into your wall? Like, what am I looking at right now?
Not yet that late.
And actually, Keith, if you think about it like this, you kind of do disappear into another realm when it comes to your thoughts. Because think about someone who's like in the daily grind of just, they only think that, they don't think the government's corrupt. They don't see anything that we see. They just see work, go home, shit, piss, have sex. They just see those usual things versus the things that people on a higher level frequency see. It's like being in two different realms, but being in the same place at the same time.
Yeah. It's like being in two different realms, but a lot of the way the conversation is it is two different realms. Like there is a place called the third dimension, and you leave that place altogether, and your soul consciousness, only not in human form, exists in another dimensional space.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, why is a conversation like that? It's confusing, and it's to me it's just not helpful. It's like it's not okay. Like, what do I do with that? Okay, now I'm still here. Like, does that mean it didn't work? Does that mean like I wasn't good enough? I didn't get to go to heaven. I'm still like down here in the third dimension, and it's all fleshy, and I'm still in the bad place. You know what I mean?
That just means.
My question to that would be: is the jazz radio station a bad radio station if they're still on AM?
I mean, if I'm going deep into the AM
Yeah.
analogy, AM goes further than FM, so it's got less quality, but the range is amazing. You can,
And, and there's the fuck up. People are thinking about this event with divisive nature, which is against how the system.
yeah. Hmm.
It's sorting and it's a system and it's a process, and there will be denser people who are having a denser experience. But
Yeah.
it's not like bad they're falling to Dante's seventh inferno of hell because they're vegan. You know what I mean? Like, there's something to be said for the discipline of your thoughts and how we're choosing to correctly use these influences. But it doesn't mean that the people who are making dense choices, like my neighbor who believes that Bud Light is God's gift to man and that he really likes to eat fast food, he's not going to have an empirically bad life. He's just going to be locked in dense frequencies and dense feelings and dense thoughts and horrible emotions because he's eating things that resonate at that dense frequency.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So is that less of like a white and black and more of a spectrum bandwidth?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's seeing things in like polarity. So yeah, it'd be kind of like white black kind of.
For sure. And I, like, to me, the polarity, like a lot of people get caught up in the polarity of us and them or black and white or those who are ascending and those who aren't. And I just try to hit that as hard with the idea like some of the best light workers use a lot of dark, and some of the best dark workers are blasting light all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's just like, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I'm a light worker, but they don't know what light really is. Light is information. You know, the sun's rays spew information, aka consciousness. So you're a worker of consciousness. So, you know, you're here to raise consciousness if you're a light worker.
Or are you?
To knowledge, for sure.
You know, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I mean, dark worker does the opposite. It's all about frequencies. It doesn't mean good or bad. It just means, are we supposed to, you know, what depth are we supposed to be at for this time period? What frequency? You know?
4D. All right, so well then what's good then? Because people, 4D is time, right? Is that what everyone's saying?
Time and space. 4D is time and space.
We have time and space here though. So how is 4D?
Time plus space. We stand on it. Like
Yes.
We have a
Okay, so we're gonna explain that. So the 3D, and now this is the really like fucked up part. It's like why we live in a paradox. So 3D is just things that we can touch, feel. You know, it has depth.
Correct.
You know, it helps define.
Uh-huh.
You know, time and space. Time and space would be a womb.
Uh-huh.
And we're walking around currently on the Earth inside of the physical womb, the Mother Earth's womb, as we were in our own mother's womb. So we're kind of 3D and 4D entangle, they quantum entangle.
Okay.
And then you add the fifth dimension. So really, the fourth dimension is a portal to, you know, one side or the other, either to the third dimension or first, you know, or this way. And it's also a portal from the fifth dimension.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because
the fourth dimension serves strictly as a gateway to either side of the spectrum.
Because if you look at it this way, like I was explaining to Richie, do you remember those flow charts that we had in school and we called them Venn diagrams?
Yeah.
So one side is different, one side is the other different. So 3D, 5D,
overlaps.
And in the middle where they overlap, it looks kind of like vagina.
Okay.
You know, like a womb. So basically, that would be the fourth dimension. It would be, you know, if you go, it's like quantum tunnel. You have the quantum tunnel. So if you're quantum tunneling from the fifth dimension to the third dimension, you have to decrease your frequency. But if you're going to the third dimension, or if you're going to a higher frequency, you have to increase your frequency. You know, and that's what quantum tunneling is all about. It's all about, you know, a certain type of frequency getting through that tunnel, tunneling one way or another. So the tunnel leads to a portal, and the portal will lead you to wherever you're going.
Copy.
So that's basically all it is. And basically, think about it. It's just like dimensions overlaid on dimensions overlaid on dimensions. It's like an unlimited form of quantum entanglement. There's always a womb in the middle between dimensions.
I say we change the entire conversation of this D
Run it.
conversation. I don't necessarily have a better one.
Yeah,
I
and yeah, that's where
just find
like
it extremely confusing because I understand that there's the paradox. I'm playing devil's advocate hard here. I understand that there is the paradox of existence. Got it. Copy. But there just seems to be an unnecessary large amount of paradoxes in that structure of 3D's physical, 4D's the portal, 5D's higher consciousness, but still 5D is actually just something we can access in the third D. It's just a different state of mind. So it's like, why even have any D's, period, and just say, hey, it, again, back to all is mind. And the
well,
AMX and the XM was
well the
AMFM was flawless. It was like, that's it. It's the mind that has it's a little lighter. You know what I mean? And like leave it at, why can't we just leave it at that? You know what I mean?
well
Is there a reason we should call something 6D or 7D or 8D?
that is for people that it's so that is a structure for people that need that definition so they can so people can understand. Because a lot of people they
So
probably
they can conceptualize it.
yeah. So a lot of things we have here, the masculine energy, which is just active feminine energy, when we're using it in that way, it's just an adjective to describe the feminine.
Mm.
Basically, it's just here is this in this format. Like this was, you know,
Gotta get my computer charger. You and Richie are gonna have to handle it. Carry the.
Be safe, drink water.
yeah. All right. So where were we? Like, yeah, it's just like descriptive terms, basically. I don't really get too lost in them, but as long as you know their definition and the purpose they serve, it's kind of a no-brainer. But like again, I study these things all the time,
Right, right.
and like we're moving kind of from a denser universe, universe A, where we have like archonic masters,
Mm.
and we're going from there to universe B, which is 5D or higher, a different state of consciousness where archonic masters don't rule anymore, where they will die and you know be no more. That's a whole different thing, but I saw that come out just due to the immense amount of celebrities, musicians who are coming out with B-sides. And if you study universe,
What?
so basically we're moving from an archonic mastery, controlled universe A, into
Yeah,
universe.
I got all that. It
Uh,
was the B thing. You said the artists are coming out with their B side.
so a lot of musicians right now, the code behind that, a lot of musicians are coming out with B sides. So Lil Wayne, you probably heard Lil Wayne. He came out with No Ceilings 3 B sides, and then Eminem comes out with out of nowhere 2 3 days ago, Music to Be Murdered By B sides, and he's like trying. It's like an album, a B side that is trying to get him over here. So he apologized to Rihanna because she symbolizes like the great mother energy, the forgiving energy that will get him over here because he's kind of been like an archon. If you listen to his music, it's not good for your subconscious mind. He's really good at what he does, but also really good at what he does. Like,
Is he deep in Scientology?
hmm?
Isn't Eminem deep in Scientology?
I hope he is.
He probably might be. Like, I didn't know that he was, but he probably might be. Like I don't doubt it.
I did some digging and I looked through it. I think he was showing like some of their stuff and parted with some of their gear. But I agree, the technical mastery that he has as far as a performer is absolutely incredible. But the
Yeah,
momentum and the intention is obviously off base. Like I saw him doing a freestyle with a Red Bull in his hand, and I was like, "Oh, you lost me, bro!" Like,
yeah. And if you listen to it, like Eminem is like one of those pedophiles, literally, because he has dropped pedophile bars before, literally in the Relapse album
right?
on
He's
the
throwing
song
darkness for sure. Dark
on the
drink.
song "Taking My
Who,
Ball."
Eminem? No.
Yeah, on the song "Taking My Ball," he says that he's gonna stick a talking truck up a little kid's butthole. Listen to it, called "Taking My Ball." That's pedophile. He outed himself in his own album in 2009. Relax, refill. Taking My Ball. Listen to it. It's a very dark album.
I hear you, and in my mind, there's a kind of cultural disease that goes on. Because it's like we rubberneck at the broken art of darkness way more than giving our time, attention, and magic to the arts that are causing us to feel inspired and refreshed.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with the darkness.
Facts.
It's just how you use it. It's always like, okay, if I have a knife and Richie has a knife, and
I'm gonna make some toast and spread some butter. You guys want some toast?
and I go,
Got $5 on Richie.
and then I go, and I go, stab something or stab someone with my knife. Is the knife evil, or is the intentions behind the person evil? It's kind of like the gun control argument where they say, oh, we need gun control every time there's a mass shooting, or maybe the kid who went into school with a gun should have been bullied, or maybe he should, whatever the situation was with the person behind the gun, you got to start there and not with the gun. Gun's not
The
evil.
Chronicles of Riddick, you can use a teacup. Come on.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Are you gonna ban tea? Are you gonna teacup control, man? Your
Yeah,
teacup's
man.
under
Careful.
control.
Keith is a dangerous weapon to your side, man. That's a dope loop, by the way.
That's yeah. You guys talking about darkness. I was like, all right, we're going minors for sure. All right, so how does it? All right, sidetrack. How? Step number 1: living like a Titan, Age of Aquarius. Richie, hit me.
Remember to breathe.
Oh, back to the basics. Oh.
That point, bro. I mean, really, if you're thinking about Titans that have been oppressed and all of a sudden there's a return, the first thing they got to do is like take a breath of fresh air and remember how they can use a brain that isn't the oppressed brain.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good
Like
point.
my brethren, and much love to everybody in the stream. Got the Sarah Lumirian Reborn.
Sarah, Ricardo,
all the Titans, all
Lemuria,
everybody.
Reborn.
Connect with your higher self. Do that intentionally until you can merge with your higher self.
Via what? Get more specific.
Through meditation and different things like that, being able to contact that part of yourself. It's like talking to yourself. It's like when we were little kids, when we had our favorite doll or our favorite toy, and we would talk to it, and we thought it had superpowers, and it manifested as it kind of looked like that. When we talked, we created an entity through sound. So our sound from our mouth, my throat chakra, is creating an entity, deifying that item. You can do the same thing with your higher self.
Create a tulpa? Is that what you're saying? I'm down.
Creating it. It's almost like having like go back into the childlike mind is kind of what I'm saying, and talk to yourself, talk to your higher self.
We should do tulpa workshops, man.
That would be fucking awesome. Like
That would be hell awesome.
I have a book over here. Let me see, where is it?
Maybe we could incorporate that into the plant celebration ceremonies. We could have like a plant tulpa workshop.
Like this book right here called Creating Magical Entities. It's a good book.
Yeah. We were talking about that. Last time.
And it tells you the main 2 ways that we do that are through our the way we talk. So if you talk to yourself very, very negatively, you create an archon around you. Now, archon, it will serve you, but it will feed off of you because it's negativity. But if you talk, you have a lot of positive self-talk, you create that entity. So you say, I'm going to win today. You created the entity of winning. So this is the part about affirmations people don't tell you. They just tell you, oh, positive affirmations, love and light, but they don't give you the science behind affirmations. The reason why those affirmations work is because you created an entity for them to serve you and work for you. Ultimately, they just tell you, oh, affirmations, 21 days, it'll work. But they never tell you why.
Richie, you ever made tulpas before?
I don't really tend to use that name per se, but for the conversation, I'll kick it.
Neither do I.
Well,
Word. When I was a youngling, I had this like imaginary thought. Like there was this imaginary thing, and like it didn't really have a form. It more had a frequency, but I didn't know that was the word. It was like a vibe, and it was my imaginary friend named Cranky. But it wasn't like cranky like he was upset. It was like cranky like he was steam powered, like there was a little key in his back. And he was just cranky, and so he just went around and like interacted with the world. But it was sort of a nebulous consciousness that kind of homunculus, kind of just something to talk to when I was bored. But I didn't really like put too much power or personality. It was just what naturally came through. And I realized through time that whenever there was a situation where it's like, oh, should I stop or not? That person looks like they might need a spare tire. Is it daylight? Is it nightlight? Is this safe? Is this not? That became sort of the radar detector for my intuition for a long time. And so I encourage people to do sigil work. I encourage people to track down animals. I encourage people to explore whatever type of manifestation of the alternate technology that they want to use. Because I'm going to take whatever word we can and thesaurus it 10 times till we find the word that makes you go, because once we find how to get your imaginary tech friend design technology, like character creation for your astral homies, once we find the way to talk to you that says that you want to create the parallel you, now we've got it.
Exactly. And like basically, that's that childlike mind I was kind of talking about before. Like, you know, if you're this higher being or like this titan, you should really be trying to connect with the part of yourself that does things like that, you know, and connect with your higher self. Your lower self is your lower self, but your higher self, we're cut off from. When we're a kid, we connect with our higher self because, you know, when we're a kid, we fucking believe Santa Claus is real. You know, we have that imagination, like we can really imagine things and create worlds and stories. And, you know, adults, they tell us, oh, you need to grow up. That's the number one killer right there of cutting a kid off from their higher self is that type of self-talk. You know, that type of talk. So I would say connect with your higher self, be more creative, you know.
But just do creative things.
Yeah. You know, like find out go back to the things that you used to connect with as a kid. I don't care what it was, you know. Like with me, it was like,
What if you didn't necessarily connect with stuff as a kid, or you connect more with things as an adult than you did as a child?
Like you connect more, like you connect more now than you did when you were a kid. Then you should do those.
My childhood was great, but I don't necessarily like. It's not like there's nothing from my childhood necessarily that I would prefer over now. That I'd be like, oh, I need to get back to that. Like that was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, then I would say you just need to figure out why that is. Was it like something subconscious? Did you have to, you know, did you have to grow up older? You know, like some kids, it's like they're you know, like when I was a kid, when I was 7 years old, I was operating like I was 15 because I had to. But I still had time to, you know, be a kid. But luckily, you know, a lot of other kids around me going through the same thing. You know, they were at my age operating twice their age. You know, so they probably missed out on some things because of that. So they're probably like in the same boat. You know, they probably find more things as an adult they connect with than they did when they were a child. I would say it's like do some shadow work and connect with that. Like why you have to find like why was that, and you might find out there might have been something you wanted to, but you didn't due to whatever blocks mentally are there.
My question more so was, what if that's not bad? Like, what if nothing bad happened as a child, and there's no block? I just happen to be more stoked on my life as an adult than as a child. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, you just be more creative. You know, just do creative things. You know,
yeah.
Like, be an artist or, you know, whatever. Just create because we are creative.
Just find that thing regardless.
Yeah, find that thing regardless and create it. Because remember, the masculine energy is there to maintain and there to be the active feminine, and it's there to activate the feminine. But the feminine is that creative force. It has to have something to create. You know, so just create. You know, just become more balanced in those energies. Is basically, you know.
Yeah.
If you're more fiery, more, you know, masculine, and you're not delving more into your feminine, then, you know, do things that get you there. Like for some people, they may need to smoke a little bit of weed. You know, that's very feminine. That's a very feminine plant right there.
Smoke some weed. Like, all right, sold.
You know,
oregano. Oregano.
You know, smoke some oregano. You know, then that being a feminine plant, it's known for getting people in a creative space. If you know, as we know from oregano, it can put you in a very very creative space, and then you use that masculine energy to go and create.
Yeah.
Because you know, as you can see, like
Balance.
a lot of like I was a heavy oregano user, and during the time when I was overusing it, more like abusing it, not really seeing it like that, but overusing it, I was very creative, but I wasn't doing anything with those creative ideas.
For sure.
You know, so then that's where you have to have that balance of energy that comes in. It's like a handoff. It's like the quarterback hands off to the running back type thing. If the running back fucking gets hit in the backfield, the quarterback might get sacked every time, unless they make a move and get it to that other, you know, to a wide receiver or something.
I think one thing that we're beginning to notice is that the team, for lack of a better term, that would be passing the ball from quarterback to receiver exists beyond time and space.
Yeah.
Like that would make everybody who's involved with this broadcast part of the we're using Talpa, you're using that word, using the Venn diagram reality, this dimension of otherworldliness where we're chilling and chatting, talking and listening, grooving and thinking. All of that is being contributed actively by everybody who's passively listening, just as much by those who are actively speaking, because
exactly
we're contributing to the toroidal field of that energy form through our scale, our waves that we're pointing, or the magic of our intention is creating this new world that we are sharing.
Exactly, a whole new world, as they say in The Little Mermaid. That was a lot of code.
A dazzling place I've never known.
That's what they were talking about. A whole new world. It's like we are creating a whole new world. We're coming into this new dimension that, or this new space that really isn't inhibited, or it really hasn't been defined yet. We have a chance to, you know, those who have made it there initially, who get there first, have the chance to define that world for everyone else who come after them, kind of deal. It's kind of like those who win the war write history.
Yes, they do.
So hopefully they tell the truth. You know, and one of those things that will help you. One of those things that we're going to help you like merge your brain to get, you know, to get into a reality like that is a sigil, like a simple sigil like this. This is the Sri Yantra.
Dude, this is probably one of the most powerful symbols I've used in meditation by far.
So I'm going to put that up there.
On that.
Yeah, I have that here. So put up symbols like this around your room, you know, and every time.
But use them.
Yeah,
like, because that's one of the. I fell into that rut, and I noticed a lot of people fall into that rut. Is they'll surround themselves with things to work on the subconscious side, which is dope. But you got to be hella active with it too. Like you got to like sit down and stare at it and clear your mind and set some space aside to really like drive the will into something, you know.
Exactly. And so that's why one of the easiest ways to do that is to download a picture of that on your phone and put it as your wallpaper, because everybody's always on their phone. Always. Your phone, your computer. You know how long we stare at our phone. Like sometimes, you know, I'll just be staring at my phone, like thinking about whatever, and it's been like 15 minutes. So what if my mind was staring at that Sri Yantra like that? You see what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I used to have it on my phone, as my wallpaper for a bit.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go, Richie. You know, and that's a very powerful sigil. That's a lot, you know, the sigil of Lakshmi, and you know it will help you. Like even just like
Lakshmi.
I have her around my neck, and I always do. You know, but it's like it's like now it's like we're looking now from methodologies. Like everybody talks about, you know, what's going on December 21st, and what could happen. Okay, that's okay. People need the science behind that, but then they need methodologies, you know, or ways for them that they, you know, vibe with to be able to get themselves to that. that space within themselves. So it's more tangible. You know, they need something to do. It's like,
Yeah, so I want to throw a quick thing to Ricardo real quick. Yes, you do not have to know what it means for it to help you, just like you don't have to know the words of a song in order for it to move you.
Amen, but yeah, it's kind of like meditation. I feel like I can't necessarily describe what I get from meditation. I mean, I can, but also it's like it's also that je ne sais quoi that you feel more than you're able to speak on. Do it, man. I'm saying, but do more than, like I said, do more than posters around your room. That helps, but you gotta activate subconscious and conscious. You gotta I was drawing it by hand multiple times. I was staring at it while during meditation, like dark light, dark room, pitch black with this symbol on my computer screen, just so it was that, and I would sit and I would stare at it for 20 minutes and meditate on it. Yeah, so and that was pretty wild. It was pretty. That was when I was balls deep in all of my practices. I was like Kundalini game strong. I was going no fap for like 120 days. I was doing yoga at like 5 every morning. I was killing it. I was.
Dang, getting a new kinetic tip. Way sweet.
And I was writing 7 Pillars at that time too. Actually, the book.
oh,
I
see,
read my book at that time too.
there you go. And that's that
Yeah.
fire. You know, we all need that fire, but now you're kind of more laid back, you know, and which is good. You're experiencing both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the balance. So, you know, that's what we need to do. Like a lot of people, sometimes we don't either we burn out or we don't do enough.
Cheers, Eden.
We can even
You
burn
know.
out doing the wrong thing. If we don't have people around us to be like, yo, are you working the light? You got to have homies around that chin check you, keep you balanced.
Mm. Mm.
You know,
I think we lost you. Joseph Eisen.
The glitches. Off this link in the Discord to keep people rolling. Hello, everybody in the chats.
Chakras and chasers. How's it going, you guys? I hope you're enjoying your solstice. Have you guys done any cool rituals today? Everything's pointing at whatever you're doing now, specifically today, and like I guess this next week is gonna set the tone for the next 20 years, right? That's roughly the next Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. I did a dope little money ritual with cinnamon and moon water that I got from some supermoon a couple months ago that I hadn't even used yet. I'm stoked on that. R.I.P. Lemuria? Oh, R.I.P. to Joseph? He'll probably come back in.
I know a lot of people have been working with Yule logs and they're getting that kind of stuff together for the equinox. I think that the Yule log idea is really cool in the sense that having nature in your house is kind of like having a microphone into the universe. Because if you have a plant or you have a Yule log or something, whatever frequencies you emit to that are going to be echoed out to all the nature around you.
What we do in life echoes in eternity. I'm looking up Yule log. I've never done Yule log stuff outside of singing it in.
For sure.
Can you just buy a Yule log? Is that how easy it is?
I think some people usually go out and they find a log out and then they like put a couple other logs in the log. Like there's a way to it. There's a ritual setup. Also, there's a stream of the solstice at Stonehenge going on right now. So Lego forts, hell yeah.
Wait, what?
I just looking at the chat.
Oh.
Ritualistically, I think it's good for people to just kind of exist, to be like, yo, this is the solstice. Let's take a second and slow down. The days are going to get longer from here on out, you know?
Yeah, I know. It's interesting because it's always like, oh, it's the coldest, the longest. Like, yeah, but also immediately after that, it starts getting hotter. So, more or less. At least the sun comes back after that.
Magnetically, it is on the path to warmness immediately at that point.
Yeah. What time is that at? Do you know? I meant to look it up. Did you see it?
I think it was a couple hours ago.
Really? Oh, nice.
I checked and I think it was like 3 p.m. local time where I am, and it's like 7:30 now, so.
Okay.
Dang.
So what's there? Dope. Got some questions. I see question marks. bathe on the lake of Minnetonka. New Day Church, Pueblo. What do you do with cinnamon and moon water? There's a little money ritual spell that my girl found, and basically blessed, did some visualizations, did some blessings, did some saging and some frankincensing and some aura clearing, and then sprinkled cinnamon onto the dollar bill and sprinkled it with the moon water that we had collected from one of the last supermoon, basically. Folded it up, threw it in the wallet, and that was the money. That was our little money ritual. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
I heard cinnamon was one of the first psychedelics.
Someone's sipping on DMT brew right now. I like your style, but
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's how we roll.
Can you do that? Does it work like that?
How would it not?
Because you need to mix it with stuff, right? You can't just throw DMT crystals in some water and sip it, can you?
I didn't say that it was like that kind of
Fair. I need a plug, man. I need a plug for things like that. But also cinnamon. What is it?
Yeah, cinnamon was one of the earliest plant medicines, earliest plant messengers. In some ways, it was a psychedelic because if you think about societies that had no flavors or spices at all, and all of a sudden somebody had a stick of cinnamon.
Oh my God!
Like a guardian keeper of the tasties. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I know what you mean. That is quite the stick of herb to have too. If you bring it on some squad that has no idea what herbs are.
Word. And even in that way, like you can chew on a cinnamon stick, you can keep that around for incense. A lot of the original food spices also doubled as like personal body odor.
Yeah, for sure.
Word. So
they got one out here called they call it cowboy cologne. The mugwort in California. It's one of the words for it. It's cowboy cologne.
hey, all right, smudge life. You said the magic word. If anybody got it, please smudge it. If you got it, smudge it. That's what we're doing right now.
We smudging? Smudge life?
You just talked about the mugwort. You summoned the smudgeables. You talked about.
Oh, nice.
Now do a little lead of the smudging. You like move this smoke and cast all this in the world and adjust this magnetic polarity and plane. So I'm gonna smudge your world from here.
Thank you kindly. Appreciate it. It's still smoky in here from our sage, so mine's been going. Mine done been going.
And done because you're not now. We want making progress. Oh yeah, I gotta show you this thing. You might appreciate this from your days of being an author. Kind of stuff you keep hanging around, right?
Oh my goodness, that thing is serious.
Woof, woof.
Super serious.
We
I've
roll like
never seen an ankh that big before, man. What the hell?
just doing the things. Somebody's got it.
Nice. All right, pink Himalayan salt to increase psychic abilities down. Yeah, I got
Hey,
you.
Keith, do you sell sage at your Etsy shop?
I do.
Okay, Sarah, looks like we found where you can re-up on sage at.
I got you, sage. It's picked straight from the montañas de California. We get our stuff wild. I mean, most of it's wild, I think. But yeah, absolutely. I have actually white sage, purple sage, hummingbird sage, pineapple sage. What else grows out here? Black sage is kind of cool. And that's it. There's a lot. There's like 200 plus varieties of sage. And they're dope. They all smell amazing. White sage isn't even the best smelling one, and they're all therapeutic. And the mugwort, that cowboy cologne stuff, is actually the natives use more than white sage. By far, it's Artemisia californica is the scientific name, and it's basically California mugwort. But yeah, the astral body requires lots of salt water. I don't doubt that. Salt is a nice conductor of electricity, and we are electricity, right? I should probably check my messages for Joe. Alchemy.
Yeah, I've been pinging him on the Discord, see if he show up, but I ain't getting through to him. So also on the Himalayan salt tip, you can put Himalayan salt water in water and let the salt sink to the bottom, and then the lighter alkaloids will rise, so you can use that as like an eye droplet elixir. It's really good. That would be a move, Keith, is to put together like a dream training workshop or some kind of like discussing dream influence and making it maybe like monthly, like once a month on the full moon or something. Let's visit the topic of influencing your dreams.
Oh, I love that.
Until that time, everybody get their, and then we can present your notes, do your things, and then host people to come on and share their dreams. Because some people are great at lucidity, but shoddy at interp. And some people got vivid high interp, but really don't know how to turn on or off the light switches. Want to hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. That's dope. That's a good idea. Writing that one down in the notes. That seems like one I could stick to too, because I was doing pretty good. Like every Sunday morning, I was doing Sunday morning lives where we're talking about the dreams, just because it happened to be that day.
All right.
And someone's asking me about hummingbird sage. Hummingbird sage is glorious.
It's right here.
Glorious fucking.
It's backwards. You can't read that, can you?
No, I can read it. Zoom helped us out.
Nice.
Yeah, hummingbird sage is bigger. It's green. I steam distilled the leaves one time to get the essential oils from it. It smelled exactly like Starburst. It was amazing, like straight up, and it was almost had like a reddish hue to the essential oil. It's more so for teas though. It's not. It doesn't do much for you when you actually burn it, but it tastes phenomenal in a tea. Really therapeutic, dude. You should see the trikes on hummingbird sage too. The buds when it goes into bloom, they're identical little mushroom trichomes that hang out, but they're just, oh man, it's like the dankest bud ever. I don't know if have you ever seen hummingbird sage when it's blooming?
I have not. I'm looking at this picture you got though.
Let me see. The picture I got probably doesn't do it justice. I don't think I have a picture of. It was on my old.
Quick reminder to everybody, we got the Discord going on, so you can chat in the Discord and follow us there. See if we can put something in hummingbird sage about that, so we can kind of anchor it. Herbs.
Looks like I might not be able to.
It's how community works. You participate, and we all bring stuff forward. Where do you find your hummingbird sage? Is it locally, or do you gotta like go questing pretty far?
I gotta go questing pretty far. At least now. When I was in Santa Barbara, it was kind of close. Up in the mountains, regardless, though. It's it's not a dry one. It likes the creeks, shaded areas. So if you're anywhere from Southern California, I think it goes all the way up into NorCal, Southern Oregon, and just look for running water or shaded trees. Under shady oak trees, they'll even grow, and they have a purple flower, a beautiful purple flower on it. I'll show you the thing right here. This is the flower of hummingbird sage, and it attracts hummingbirds, bees, all kinds of things. The picture doesn't do it justice for the trichomes, but oh my god, dude, you touch it, you handle it in your hand, you can't pull your fingers apart. That's how sticky it is. Oh yeah. Oh, Joseph's back.
Oh, nice.
Joseph, welcome back.
Hello.
My computer fucking conked out on me.
The Archons got you, man.
No, I'm good.
The Archons were like, "You shall not." Yo, low key, what if Gandalf the White is an Archon?
Well, Archons are soulless, so we'll have to see if they portray him to be like soulless, like a soulless being.
Wait, what? Why do Archons have to be soulless?
Well, Archons are soulless because what they did with the Soul Force is they eradicated it from themselves. Like in Gnosticism, it talks about that they used it up so much that they could not produce it anymore, so they became like a shell.
They burned up their souls?
Something to that nature. So now what they do is they feed off of other people's souls or life force. So that's where the whole, selling your soul to the devil kind of aspect came in. That's a whole different thing. It's like, so like in the Emerald Tablets, it talks about how you should go and like move in spirals.
Yeah.
That's how our soul moves. That's movement of our soul, and not in angles. Versus with angles, which is light, which is akin to like the left brain. So moving in a masculine way or more of a soulless way will get your soul trapped in the cycle for until that cycle ends. which could be thousands of years. So what will happen is your physical body won't keep up, will be for most people. If I'm not sure if people have conquered immortality, have gotten to that point. We'll see. But like on the average person, their shell lasts less than 100 years. So if your soul is stuck until the end of the cycle, which is 1,000 years, you've essentially sold your soul, kind of. That's where that kind of came from. But archons come in because they don't have souls anymore. They can't produce it. They can only eat off of it. That's where they attack is your soul force. So that's why I was asking: is he like a soulless being, or does he act
No,
like
not
that?
necessarily. He's a demigod. Gandalf is a demigod.
Because I didn't really get too big into the Lord of the Rings, but I haven't read the books, but I've seen the movies.
Yeah, I was mostly being facetious on that. Gandalf was. I only said that
Gandalf, is he across the table from Hercules? A little bit higher?
he's
I think he's better. Personally, like I think
higher.
Gandalf versus Hercules, epic rap battles of history, Gandalf wins. Like
Oh my god. Gandalf wins for sure. That would be a tough fight. But yeah, it'd be a tough fight. I was mostly joking about the Gandalf being
Oh, okay.
but that was because my own definition for Archon was way off. I was reading to be fair, it was a paraphrase version of Gnosticism. I was trying to read it from a bunch of different people. And one guy had mentioned that the Archon is just the gatekeeper at the end, and if you match his vibration, he kicks you back down. It's not necessarily a bad thing. He just makes sure that you don't go where you're not supposed to be. If you're not vibrating high enough, you're not supposed to be there.
Oh,
So
that was kind of there, but like not really. They're kind of like see the Archon as your enemy more so. Though they're the ones who are like in control now. And here in our universe, you
mm-hmm.
know, like they're the ones like if you've heard about all these celebrities and their little cults and how they sacrifice children, that's some soulless being activity. Like
Mm-hmm.
anybody with a shred of a piece of a soul.
Can't that just be an evil entity though? Why do every single one of them have to be an Archon? That's what I mean. There's only like one Archon for
Okay,
our
some of them have souls, but most of them are birthed from archons, so that's what they become. They're birthed by them and raised by them, or have an archonic attachment. Some of them do have souls, and the ones that just the archons like the ones that have souls are held hostage, so the archons can feed off of them. So like two big examples would be like Rihanna and Beyonce. They're they're being held hostage. They have a soul, yet yet in their alter egos, Sasha Fierce and Bad Girl Riri, they probably done fucked up shit. But the Rihanna and Beyonce probably in their right mind would have never done that because of their soul. Your soul is connected. So the soul manifests behind the heart, and that is key behind the heart chakra. It's a black dot behind the heart chakra, and if you have a soul, meaning if you have an open heart chakra, there's just certain things that aren't going to sit well with you at the end of the day. Like, have you ever gone to do something like that you shouldn't be doing, and you say, "Man, I don't have the heart to do that," and yeah, that's that soul and that heart connecting, kind of talking you down. These other beings don't have that, so they can just be like slaughter, kill, 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 and not feel bad. So that's why like when we hear those things that certain people do in Hollywood, and it's like when you think about it, it's like, do you have a soul? How can you do that knowingly? You know, it's kind of like that. That's archonic activity. You can tell based on their activity and based upon different things like that. You'll come across people who are like shells. It's like, is anybody there?
I'm trying to think of Archons in terms of StarCraft now, Richie, and like how are they portrayed in StarCraft?
Right. So Archons from StarCraft were taken when you had Templar, and you have either Light Templar or Dark Templar.
Yeah,
that would be someone who's dedicated to what they're doing. So if you get somebody who's really good at dedicated to what they're doing, like they're in harmony or alignment, or I think about it resonance and dissonance, The resonance activity will create balance between the two, and a new Vescapisi is like a new alternate reality where those forces are stronger, and then they represent like a larger entity or a larger force of will.
Correct.
Simultaneously, if you've got somebody who's like expressing victimhood all the time, and then somebody who's expressing narcissism all the time, that's like Dark Templar, where they get in like a negative feedback and they're building the direction of negativity. So to me, the Watchers, that frequency has to do with recess guards, basically. When you're young, recess guards are good, but as you get older, you realize recess guards are the police, and Epstein didn't kill himself. So since we're that far, we have to look at things and say, maybe the reality that we're presented is one that we have to agree on collectively, because then that means these obstacles or barriers are things we can build a relationship with. I think if there wasn't a relationship to these higher forces, whether it's angels or aliens or archons or whatever they are, creating a relationship with these corporations or concepts gives us stronger ground within ourselves to be acting as though we are beings of value and worth, rather than always interacting with them in a form of servitude or subjectivity.
Yeah.
I was 30 feet away from Beyonce, and it was ridiculous because she finished her last note on stronger. And like, I got the green shirt from the lowdown because I'm part of the tech crew. But as soon as she was done, all of a sudden, a big hood went up and the lights went out and everybody went, yeah, woo, and clapping. And then like 3 handlers, people showed the fuck up out of nowhere and escorted her swiftly off stage and back.
Yeah.
And we just started folding chairs, taking off the railing, like doing the job. I was there till like 2 a.m. that day. It was raining in an arena, whatever. We were doing the work. But it was very much like this human being is being treated with a very unique glove, very unique sense of touch. And it was a deification, I think. So, but
yeah, and I believe like I said, some people in Hollywood, some of them are held hostage because they have soul force. Beyonce is one of them. Rihanna is one of them, and you can tell like Jay-Z holds them hostage, so he can eat off of them. Jay-Z is also a gatekeeper in that right. You know, he would be the archon in the situation. You know, and it's all about vampirism with them. It's all about a new way to eat
The
off.
sparkly ones?
Sparkling ones?
Yeah.
Oh, vampires, yeah.
Do they sparkle in the sunlight, or do
I don't
they
know.
burn in the sunlight?
I think they sparkle and then they burn just a little bit.
Fucking sparkling ones are the ones you gotta watch out for, man.
Well, that
I would like to start a group and name it Archons at this point. That's my relationship building with them. Start some kind of movement, and the enterprise will be dubbed Archon. What do you guys think? You're not down?
I'm good on that.
You're not down? I'm down. I'm super down.
the archons of what? Or just the archons together?
Unless we're like trying to trap them and kill them, then yeah, they need to go.
It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Their time is pretty much done here. They're trying to hold on.
Well, see that's the disconnect. That's what I brought up earlier. Is the Archon? I'm talking about the thing that just makes sure no one goes into the next realm unless they are ready to go. I'm not talking about the evil pedophilia dudes. I'm talking about like the one gatekeeper that says what's the password, and you give the wrong password, and he's just like, no, he throws you back into the maze.
Okay,
I'm talking about that one.
Oh,
like
that wouldn't be an Archon. That would be just like somebody a gateway spirit, a crossroad deity to some degree. You know, they open and close the door, you know, like a gatekeeper. So, you know, those would be the hellhounds. So the hellhounds are different from the archons.
From the tablets, you're saying?
Yeah, the hellhounds and the tablets, they would just be like, you know, you shall not pass here. And then trap, you know, that's how your soul gets trapped.
Yeah, those are the ones you're talking about that keep you until the next cycle.
Those are the ones kind of like on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, when they were trying to get past the 3-headed dog. That would be like a hellhound. You know, they had to put him to sleep and stuff. Then he woke up anyway. Like, they almost got stuck in that black goo had they not figured out how to get out. It would have been there for a long time.
1,000 years. Unless the next cycle. So if the next cycle's soon, then you should just run it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, run it. See what
Like,
happens.
like I don't know if you've ever heard of J. Cole, right?
Hmm?
So I was thinking of his situation, and back in 2013, he made this song called Voluminati. Go figure. And he was talking about how he pleaded for his soul. The reason why he was able to get his shit back is because when he got caught, it was at the end of a cycle, so it didn't last very long. So that means that cycle must have restarted sometime around between 2013, 2012, and 2014. So I would like now would not be the time to get stuck anywhere. You're like fresh and dead in the middle of a 1,000 year cycle, a handful of years in, that you'd be fucked.
um,
You walk around like a zombie, like Eminem.
Goddess Code, what up, Gatekeeper? Goddess Code, I actually had you in mind when I was thinking of getting other people on the channel. I saw that you had an Instagram and you were on top of the posts, and it was a unique take on it. Don't know if you'd be interested. You guys do. Astral projection has been coming up a lot lately. Negative. Oh, Richie, I saw what you did there, and I'm a little jealous. There's some remnants floating around.
Somebody's got to do it, man.
And I'm like, do I want to go? Let's see.
How's your harvest?
It was great. It was dope. The magic melon I got from Humboldt Seeds came out beautifully. It smelled great. It looked great. It was super sticky. Yeah, everything's great.
Oh, how did those pumpkins turn out?
You're on mute, Richie.
I hear you. I'm just making ambient noises.
Oh.
I'm glad. I'm trying not to be like all going on with that. So, no worries, no worries. I'm really impressed here. Let me see if I can catch it this way. I had to run off and catch my cat real quick because he was close.
Don't we all?
I think we are, as people, learning that we don't have perhaps as collectively a shared vocabulary as we'd like.
Absolutely, dude. That's the whole aim of my fucking channel is to reel that in. Not the whole goal, but that's like what I seem to come back to all the time.
Good. I think that's something that has to be done with individuals who want it to happen rather than people who are kind of like arm twisting it to happen.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, well said. At some point, it's just like...
What do we got to take away so far? I'm just trying to stop and take notes real quick because we do these huge, awesome live streams. I know we all chilling, big, awesome ideas. But I want to make sure that these ideas become things. And then after that, those things become other things. And then eventually, we live in the world of all the things that we make.
So, I think it's chill, but let me put it to you this way. You know, we got a lot of things going on right now, and you know, like meditate, fucking chill with your own presence, learn who you are. You know, keep yourself on a higher frequency, and you know, keep striving to be, you know, just to be better. Those things alone will put you on the path to be in whatever the new world will be. Or you might get left behind in the old world until you can get, you know, basically the lower world, and you can raise your frequency enough to be able to leave that world and go over here. You know, like become a gamma ray. Your frequency has to become that of.
While entering HD. Yeah.
I have it.
Dance more.
I have it here. So here's the light spectrum here.
Damn, I could read that, but yeah, light spectrum.
So,
yes.
Oh, so basically, you go from being a radio wave, which is a long wave, to a gamma ray, which is a very, very short wave. Oh, there you go, Richie. Yeah.
We're gonna have to simplify this though.
You must become a gamma ray.
Kirlian photography, yes. Yes. I've been wanting to. That's one of when I start to make my fortunes and I start investing in woo woo stuff. Curling photography is going to be one of them, 100%. Someone just dropped that in the. Goddess, hit me with your email. Oh, Kitty, what up? That's hella funny, dude.
Yeah, Kisan. I don't let you on the internet, dude. Cats are supposed to stay off the internet, dude. It's a dangerous place. What's
AMXM, that's notes from this. Or XM, AMFM.
Okay, and then we got the monthly dream meetings.
Monthly dream meetings. That's one of that's. Hold on, I'm probably write down. Oh no, I already wrote down the dream meeting. Yeah, I wrote that one down. I also wrote down terms to get rid of. 3D, 4D, etc. And well, this isn't for you guys. This is my own personal grind. And then the other one was lower self, higher self. I'm tired of I just that's never rubbed me the right way, man. This lower self, higher self thing. It really grinds my gears. In other words, and it's a theme between both of them. It's the separation thing. It's like, oh, it's what? I'm up there and down here, and it's like, wait, I'm third dimension here, but then I gotta get over there, and it's just there's all these fucking places that I need to get to that I'm not at.
The idea is there should be no separation, but there is. So that's for you to take care of, is to merge with the higher self, so that you just one. Your whole.
But do I have to merge with the higher self? Is that not just an illusion that the higher self isn't already here?
Not really, because if you know what it is, it's higher consciousness, and it knows things that you don't know now. It's basically like.
But you say it as if it is separate from me, but you also call it my higher self.
Yes.
So that's what I mean, where it's like, I get you, but it's also, I find that terminology to be unnecessarily difficult to comprehend in
I'm gonna help you like this.
Moving forward, day-to-day basis.
Your brain is in your body, right? So your whole brain. But why do they say left brain and right brain? Because there's some sort of separation between them, because your hemispheres are not merged. If they were merged, you wouldn't see them as left brain and right brain. You would see it as a whole brain. But there is space between, because.
But I'm still like operating left and right brain at the same time. It's just like it could be better. You know what I mean? I'm still like I'm having a thought, and I'm like, both are doing the thing, and I'm producing a thought. Whereas this idea of I need to merge somewhere else is saying that I'm operating here, and there is a thing that's operating there. So it's like it's not the same as left brain, right brain, because those are already together doing their thing. Whereas merging suggests that it's not already here. You know what I mean?
Kind of, but not really. Like, okay, so the idea of left and right brain came from when scientists would crack open somebody's brain. They would notice there's a split about as big as my index finger between your hemispheres.
Mm-hmm.
So they started doing experiments. They started giving people supplements like colloidal gold and other things. And those people's brains, when the neurologists will come in and, later on and open their brain, they would see that split was no longer there. That means the neurons and synapses could fire faster.
Okay, let me give you a new analogy then. I got the right brain, left brain.
Okay.
I'll hit you with a different aspect that I didn't fill you on before. Maybe that'll clarify my hang up. You say that there's a higher self that I need to merge with. So what's the higher self thinking right now? Is the higher self up there going, there's Keith down there in the third dimension, and I need to hook up with him? Like, is that suggesting that there's two separate individual consciousnesses in two different places? Back to my original problem with the separation thing, and they're both like the higher self is, or is the higher self like this unconscious thing floating around in a different realm that I need to like find and tether to my third dimension.
That is exactly what it is, because if you know about quantum physics, the quantum world suggests there are many different yous in many different realities. There was the Keith 35 minutes ago, and the
Correct,
Keith.
correct. Wait, stop there because that's a different rabbit hole. We're talking
Oh,
just me and the higher self. Unless
yeah,
you're suggesting there's a million different higher selves, in which case
no.
like
What I
that.
was trying to do was tie those things together. It's like the same thing.
Okay, okay.
That's what you were saying. So it's like you said, it's this big auspicious thing full of consciousness, and because the ego wanted to experience itself, so that's why we have that separation. That's why there is, the separation of
The
God.
ego is the separation. That's
Yeah,
not
the
the
ego.
ego wanting to experience itself. It's the all wanting to
Yeah, the
experience
all.
itself
Yes. So
via
that,
the ego.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. If
Uh-huh.
there's that type of separation, there can be the separation between you and
So
your
is the all the higher self?
something like that.
All right.
But not really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's
For
like
sure, for sure,
it's like your little piece of the all.
for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure.
So basically, yes, you are whole because all of this exists inside of you. All things exist inside of us, but what we need to do is merge with that part of ourself. It's like we're in this paradox. It's where things are, but they aren't.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
And
there's not a better word we can call it then than lower self and higher self, especially
well,
when our main consciousness is in the lower self,
yeah.
like our
Well,
perception. I mean,
it's just like a low vibration and a high vibration. It's just like like a microwave versus a gamma ray.
yeah,
That's all that it is. Your higher self is a gamma ray, and your lower self is a microwave. That's that's what they would be on the light spectrum.
You could
You
say
know,
your
but
divided self and your connected self.
but my consciousness is in this self.
It's divided. Your consciousness is a divided self. It's one of the many divided
yeah,
selves. And there's
your
only one unified self.
your consciousness is divided into what we call dimensions. So that's why when you say you go to a different dimension, you go to a different form of thought. From
Correct.
three-dimensional thinking to four-dimensional to five-dimensional, it's divided in between.
Yeah, which I'm
dimensions.
down for. I'm down for the different modes of
Yeah,
thinking being
that's
labeled as
yeah,
4D. Like that makes, and I
yeah.
would rather it stay with that than
That's
like
what that
say
is.
that there's a great division and some people are going left and some people are going right. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. So your higher self would just be like the highest dimension, and your lower
Of
self would just
thought.
be the lower dimension, and you meet in the middle. The middle is like the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the middle point of all the chakras. It is the point between above and below.
Why would you want to meet in the middle at all? Why wouldn't you want to just keep going higher? Why would the higher self ever want to come down if you have to lower
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
density?
Okay, if you want to go higher or lower, you get stuck in polarity. The whole idea is to transcend that, to transcend polarity through the middle, which is the heart. So you experience all things through the heart, because the heart is a gateway to the soul.
Richie,
So
look like you
essentially,
want to say something.
oh, what were you saying, Richie?
He wasn't. I said he looked like really wanted
Oh,
to say something.
oh. So basically, everything collapses in the middle. Everything higher and
Uh-huh.
everything lower, it goes like this.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
So
balancing. Got it.
yeah. So that's what you want. That would be balance.
Keith,
So
could you change the loop? I'm running on like a 3-second loop in my brain.
Eh,
Can we get out of this tiny loop and make it a different loop? Chunk, chunk, chunk. New sound that start ching, ching, the aggression of that percussion over and over again. My
Oh, yeah,
mind.
you're talking about my bad. I'm like, it's the actual representation of my brain right now. I think that's why.
so yeah, it's like
It's what's happening in my mind being expressed through sound.
like
I'm just
when
like,
We are free of this trance. Take a moment and breathe deeply. I'll see if I can throw something through real quick. I think as far as I get it, the heart center as green would be transparency. And then the lower center, so anything below love, is opaque because of pain. Whether it's pain of suffering or pain of judgment or pain of fear, anything below that middle point of love, which is heart, which is what we're arbitrarily calling green right now.
uh-huh.
And then anything above that, we're going to say is light. It's full of information. It has vividity, whether it's expression or visionary or intuition. But heart is transparent. Heart would be clear. So nature is just spirit wearing a green coat is a phrase that some people have used. And when you're in nature, you connect with spirit through that frequency of green. You're like transparently feeling that dimension of calmitude and higher self, or we're not using higher, lower, completed or unified rather than divisive. Because right now we're three divisive selves, but we're working like fingers on the hand to grab and move things. We're stacking concepts together and we're having a larger conversation than we would be able to have on our own in a vacuum, because there are 3 left brains and 3 right brains and like 30 at least fingers on the keyboard from other people who are throwing things in the peanut gallery as well. You all going to hear me?
Roger.
Yeah. That makes a lot. That pretty much sums it up.
That's what we collaborated through and catching the processes. I appreciate a lot of your knowledge, Alchemy, because you're approaching it with a very no-nonsense perspective that shows that you understand the information on an intuitive level. However, I'm hearing consistently when Keith is bringing information to you, it's not that there's a devil's advocacy per se, but you're simply not getting it rather than simply getting it. And sometimes our brain has a hard time wrestling with things because somebody could point at something and say, that's a 2. And I say, no, that's a cube. And they say, that's a 2. And I say, no, that's a cube. And it takes me a minute to realize it's a dice.
Yeah.
So it is simultaneously a cube and a 2. But that's sort of the conversation that we're unpacking.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. A lot of times with me, like, I just know things. Like, I study because I just know. So it's like I'm very, very perceptive. I know things before they happen. Like with my family, my friends, they always come to me because I can just call something out before it happens. It's like I don't know why that is, but I just know. It's like I trust my heart because.
So do you know if we're going to have another meeting of the minds next Monday or not?
We probably will. We will. We will.
If we got an intuitive reader in the group, we got to lean into it. Like, I'm all about it. I'm a channel for ideas. I just hard bake and push things through, but I'm not necessarily visionary on that Tesla tip. And I got some books, but trying to regurgitate it's like me trying to chuck a paragraph at somebody.
Exactly. Like, I'm looking more into Tesla myself. So like why I study as much is because intuitively, like you said, I know. So I just kind of need that balancing part, that left brain aspect, or that the gnosis, or the lower aspect, which is just knowledge, which is just light. To kind of being able to not teach but understand further. To have gnosis, so I can merge those things together. It's like, like sometimes something, but then you have to let me just check just in case. Let me double check.
Right. I think we could make like a one-on-one. I'm trying to think about this. Like a 101 on some of this information. Just kind of do short little like 5 or 10 minute round circles that say, cool, if you know nothing about this, let's unpack.
Yeah.
Like, as far as, all right, this is a good one. I constantly hear people saying Mercury's in food grade and Neptune just went into medical grade. And it's like, cool. So what you're commenting is on the rotation of the planets and their relationship to ours. But do you even know what those things mean? So how do you see that kind of astrological information is accurate? Being Titans, how is it useful that this is now the age of Aquarius?
State the question again.
If we are identifying as speakers as Titans for this conversation, the usefulness or the application of astrological information, including the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction.
Yeah, that makes sense, because like Jupiter is all about expansion. It's the energy of expansion, expanding upon these things. And if it's in alignment with Saturn, and Saturn is in Aquarius, and that is very airy, but it's very, it's very knowledgeable. So expanding upon your knowledge in a way where it's like going quick, like a higher vibration, because air is a very high vibration, or it can be a very slow vibration.
Who else is talking?
That's my phone right here. My friend's on live on Facebook. I thought he wanted me to come jump on. I was like, okay.
Dang, dual wielding, nice.
Yeah, me too.
For sure, man. I say you could stay connected, drop your video if he needs you on that side, and bring back maybe like integrated.
Yeah.
Bring the homie over here.
He's on Facebook doing this thing. It's like that's one of my things. Like For some reason, I have an odd way of knowing how to multitask and be present in both situations. I'm here and I'm there. It can also be a downfall sometimes, you know.
Dang. So check this out. I don't know if you noticed, but when whales sleep and dolphins sleep, they go up to the surface and they breach the surface and they breathe, they take a breath. And then when they go under, they sleep half of their brain at a time. They
I
come
saw
up and they breathe and then they sleep the other half of the brain at the time.
that.
They come up and then they're awake. And then they're chilling underwater doing the thing, and then they go up and then they kind of oh. So it's
That's
kind
what
of applicable. I know if I don't have like 3 projects running in my brain, it's hard to focus. But if I have like 10, it's really hard to focus.
Yeah, noted. All right, so mine then would be, and then even backtrack into this, the individual superpowers
Yeah.
is simplification. Like I'm trying to minimize the terminology that we use, and like try to not make it as complex as possible,
Are
and
you
just
trying to create a common alphabet?
create a common alphabet, and get rid of the unnecessary, because there's a lot of concepts out there that are like they're right and they're fairly accurate, but they're not practically useful for like the evolution, like on the ground, on the front lines. um and that's like I'm just trying to simplify shit. I'm just trying to like, you know what I mean, and that's the main goal. Were you talking, Richie? Your mouth was moving, but I didn't hear your
I
voice.
was saying simplify, simplify, simplify. I was agreeing with you vehemently.
Yeah. Just simplification, you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of reading and there's a lot of astrology and there's a lot of planets moving around, but when it comes down to it, it's always the same message, which is like keep doing the thing that you know you should be doing.
Yeah, like well,
And stop doing the
basically,
things that you know you shouldn't be doing. And then like enjoy yourself in the process.
it's like about knowing yourself. So like,
Yeah.
what is your superpower? Like I
Yeah.
described one of mine earlier, being very very perceptive.
Yeah.
So taking that and like throwing like if I throw it into a higher dimension or consciousness, then that would be like the superheroes who are like telepathic,
Uh-huh.
because that's probably what their earthly power was. It's just they were just overly perceptive of energies like that.
That's a cool superpower. What
You
the hell
know,
would simplification be? That doesn't sound like a cool superpower at
and
all.
like I think like movies they give us a superhero that has like one, two, or maybe three, but I think we have an infinite amount of those things, and they lie within the process of alchemy, taking something about ourselves that we've mastered in a lower level and springboarding it into a higher level, which is mastery, and
Mm,
then you
Grandmaster.
it's like this thing. Now you're doing crazy shit, like now you're fucking avatar bending elements and shit, because on the lower level you are one with nature, one with the elements, one with earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, and now you can utilize those things on a higher level to where it's like fucking superhero. It's like unlocking your DNA, that link.
So which one are you unlocking first if you were to guess?
uh,
Element?
Yeah, we're unlocking them.
I would go with water for me because I love snow, I love water, period. So water, then probably fire, then earth, then air, in that accordance. I'm really good with that, and we can actually talk with the elements and different things like that. Like if you see the government control the elements with like harp, that means that there are beings out there, people out there that naturally in their lineage could do that within their own vessel, and they just duplicated it and turned it into technology. A more AI sense of that. So if it's out there in technology, it's probably existed within the human self,
Yes, I love technology.
because that's where they got it from. You know, they got it from something they saw in a being that was out the fucking charts.
What's your superpower, Richie?
Dang, superpower or mastery of the elements. Trying to contextualize it.
Mastery of the elements.
Word.
What's your element mastery?
See, I gotta figure this out because if we're using the Western elements, that means that it's like water,
Use the
earth.
Westerns.
But that means there's no electricity, Keith, and there's no metal. And
If
how am I
you
supposed to?
combine wind with water and earth, you will get this
Static
friction. Then the wind will build up, then the clouds will form, and the lightning strikes, and you have electricity. Boom! I was working. That was hard, man, but there it was. It formed eventually. It's in the clouds, man. It's in the.
Isn't fire one of those elements that's created from the other elements that manifested first? Like
yeah,
earth
yeah.
and air?
What was the original element?
I don't know. It's like I knew fire was more of an earthly type of element before it was able to distinguish itself.
Electricity. Wait, hold on, time out, Richie. We're going Western. You can combine elements to make electricity if you want.
Oh, I'll pass on that. It's totally spirit. I'm just having the spirit of a good conversation.
The spirit element?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, multipass.
Bird.
Well, if Richie's taking spirit, that means he has all the elements within.
I know, he cheated.
The spirit, like that's all.
I mean, in my mind, I would be starting with only spirit. And so I'd have to view from spirit because like wind is cool, but I'm not necessarily that solid on. I smoked tobacco for a long time, so I got like a pound of tar in my chest at least.
Oh, damn.
So I probably got some karma from wind that I'm working through. But at the same time, like I can feel the feels of other people in the same way, but I also know how to like slowly turn that down in case people are kind of masochistically making more pain than I want to have myself feeling, you know what I mean?
It's a good tactic or a good skill, I mean.
Yeah. And like the elements have their own spirits, so you can contact them if you just work with them. It may not happen after 24 hours, but if you meditate on it intentionally every day, how much farther will you be in 3 weeks if you just meditated on,
for sure,
on just like say fire, and like you meditate in front of a candle and just are with that element of the fire, and then you start doing crazy shit like.
I'm all about fire. Super down for the fire.
I do like fire. I used to burn shit down when I was a kid, so I really do like fire. But I kind of realized fire was one of those ones that was. I'm like, okay, earth was here, water was here, like, water. It came down and it came onto earth. Earth was earth, like below, so that's like above and below. Air is kind of like everywhere. So what the fuck did fire come from? And I'm like, oh wait a minute, earth and fucking air, like it needs oxygen, and
they all need each other is what you're getting at.
Yeah, they're either birth.
You need each other, man.
Yeah, like it's like with racism, they try to make black and white people like and everybody in between, like they don't even talk about the in betweens like the other races.
Quite the segue.
So it's like we are all birthed from the first race that was here, because.
Well, I don't know, man. Depends who you ask, because there could have been aliens. It could have been a couple different races. Some of us could be Arcturians. You know what I mean? Could be Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon coexisting.
Yeah.
Could have been.
And they use these skin suits. They all come through and use these fucking skin suits. It's kind of like on They Live, kind of like the glasses, like. The suit they're in looks kind of like a human body, and it probably is, but it's a different alien being inside of it, kind of like that. But they're still using that, like, the deception of that kind of thing. So it's kind of like when you look at someone who has a higher frequency skin suit, I'm going to call it that.
A higher frequency skin suit.
Like,
an HFSS.
So we call on Earth black people. Only reason why it's higher frequency is because history. If you do your history, we're here first, and B, like the big kicker is we can have any color baby without any other race. Like 2 black people can birth an albino, like a whole white looking kid.
A whole white kid.
for real, I was having this conversation the other day. And I was trying to, but they're like, yeah, like 2 white people can't produce a black child. So how can two black people produce an albino white kid? And I'm like, that should be the kicker. Who was here
Wait,
first?
what?
Two
There's,
black people.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, it's called an albino. An
No,
albino
no,
is
no,
not.
no. I believe in albinos, but I don't think in the history of everything ever that no matter and under any circumstance, period, will two white people never make a black kid. I just don't believe in
Two
absolute.
white people. Well, let's see it. Let's see it.
Something. There's got to be something, man. I mean, how did you? Where did white people come from? Period. Originally,
Well,
you had
okay.
colored people. You know what I mean? That
I'm gonna
eventually.
explain that to you. I'm gonna explain that to you, Keith. White people come from the albinos.
What's
That's
that?
what white people come from the albinos. The albinos are phenomelanated, which is
Oh, I see
white,
what you're saying.
pink, red, and
So
all
you're,
those
so
types of
you're,
light
you're saying
colors.
that there wasn't a gradual migration from dark skin to light
Yeah.
skin. You're saying that it
So
was an immediate white skin, and then
yeah,
they
it was
just took
like
off
that.
from
And
there.
then what happens is that phenomelanin is recessive. So when you mix that now with these dark skinned people, so it's all in the book of Enoch. You know, if you listen to the book of Enoch, it's all in there. But if you scientifically look at it,
Yeah.
um, when the like when they say the eumelanated were cut off, which is code for they started having phenomelanated babies. So it doesn't make one better than the other. That's just what it means. So then they started mixing, doing experiments, genetic experiments. So we're talking Anunnaki here, trying
Mm-hmm.
to make different types of races. And so all of these races are mixing. So then what they did was they used a different method here. So they kicked out all the albinos, and and this is where the archons they're the ones doing these experiments. So the archons or the Moors, or a small sector of the Moors.
Moors, like the northwestern African Moors.
Yeah, yep, them. A small sector of them, actually archons, not many of them, but what they did was they took these albinos because now we birthed so many of them at this point in time, and they left with them and they spread them all around the world, and they subjugated them. They kind of like put them in a corner by themselves and let them mate with each other, so that eumelanin gene would become recessive and it would breed out. And then you put them all around the world, so then that gives climate adaptability. So then their spiral hair becomes more of an angle of light. So it's kind of like this. If you take somebody who's from New York, like I have a friend who's from New York. He came down here when we were 8 years old. He had a thick Jersey, well, not Jersey, but he's kind of like by Jersey, but he had a thick East Coast accent, very, very thick. Now it's very, very thin. He sounds like he's from Illinois. Like when he goes back home, they don't recognize him based upon his culture. He's like gotten the culture of Central Illinois, and his accent isn't as thick. It's almost in a few years it'll be gone because he has adapted to this particular climate. So that's how generationally white people are made, through cultural adaptability, geographical adaptability, along with the phenomelanated or the first albinos being subjugated to where you call the Caucasus Mountains. They mated with each other, and they mated with each other, and they mated and they mated until they got the result that these Moors or Archons wanted, which was essentially what we see today, what we call the European. But we all came from the same source. We are all one, but we see each other as black and white, or some shade of that in between. We're all
Mm-hmm.
one though. We all come from the same source. Everybody's birthed through a fucking vagina anyway. We have to all be one. Find somebody who was not birthed from a vagina.
Dude, have you seen Clone Wars?
I'm not. Well, yeah, but Keith, but Keith, how do you make a clone without first someone who was birthed from a vagina?
Oh
How do you
yeah,
do
yeah,
it?
you need
Yeah, see, it's still like a handicap.
you need the OG. You need the
Yeah,
OG.
women are the OG. Like we are the seed. We are the seed that provides the light to shine on the egg so that it may fertilize and do its thing. You know, but that's
There's
kind of how it is. We're all one. We all come from the same source.
some people in the chat room said that we needed to be the next super bad squad, which I'm totally down for.
We can do that.
We gotta find a film. Any guys out there who are up for the film life, trying to make an upcoming movie? You've got some actors here. I feel like I can pull off. I feel like I might be able to act. Maybe.
I
Give it
screenwrite,
a
so
solid attempt.
I screenwrite. I'll write the film.
I can do soundtracking and I can get to California.
There you go. We need you. No, we need your face on screen too, though, man. But yes.
What about like always to the side?
Yeah.
Yes. And whenever your face does actually look at the camera, it's not your face, it's your cat's that does the looking for you.
Dude, deep fake the cat's face on me, that'd be hilarious.
Like, do you find it funny, like, in school, we talk about racism and black and white a lot growing up in, like, public school, but they never tell us any type of story like that? Like, how we're all, like, one? It's just, like, keep us...
That's woo mysticy-ish dogma that'd be hard to standardize in a textbook brainwashing that is
hard to standardize. You can't standardize these lessons. We can't. It can't be. Throw them out.
It's almost kind of like in a Black Lives Matter society, where if the people actually did research and they looked up how many people were killed by the police of all different types of colors, not just black people, you would see white people, Asian, Mexican, all of them are being brutalized by the police in even larger numbers as well. It would cause us to come together because we're seeing it's like
right now.
Yeah, it'd be like the people versus the police instead of everybody behind black people versus the police. It'd be a lot more dangerous if we're like one whole squad versus these archons. They wouldn't last fucking a day.
Archons. I'm doing more digging into this Archon too. I'm gonna do.
Yeah, there is. They're out there. These motherfuckers are. That's who we've been up against this whole time. It's like they're really crafty, but they're not as bad as we make them out. Like bad, like smart. They're crafty, but they're not as powerful as we think they are. They've just been able to manipulate our energies and vamp off of them. Keep us, They keep your kundalini from rising, in multiple different ways, like the porn industry, school, the way, culturalism, all that shit. They keep you from accessing your DNA that is latent or your superpower, quote unquote. That's all it is. It's just like, what would happen if, like the movie Limitless, if we could access different parts of ourselves, or like if we were taught to access different parts of our DNA and different parts of our brain and activated them, like would we still be who we are right now, or would we be like amped up?
Be super amped. That's the Titan move. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. And I and that's what was my that is specifically why I have the push for simplicity and like dropping unnecessary terms and things like that, is because I feel like that specifically gets in the way of, it's internet, it's awesome, there's tons of information, you can find whatever you want, but there's also fucking tons of information, and some of it is regurgitated and some of it people just say for clicks, and some people some people actually believe that what they're saying is true, but it's like half the truth, and it's like if we could find the common denominator in all the things, it's like, okay, meditate, breathe, like Richie says, eat good food, do good deeds, have good thoughts. It's like, that's it. And then like read cool text that could be like, oh, by the way, this specific ritual with this specific text and these specific words and vowel sounds will like amplify certain things. Like, cool. Then you can get kind of crazy and intricate with it and complex with it in that sense. But there's just a lot of dialogue. Like I can watch 50 fucking spiritual YouTube videos and then not learn necessarily a useful thing in any of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're not going to tell you something as simple as figure out how to use those parts of your brain that they say that you don't use, and figure out how to activate your DNA. We activate our DNA by working with our kundalini. There are many different ways to activate your kundalini. One of the biggest ways that the whole spiritual community is talking about is, oh my God, no fap. But I figured out a methodology that actually works. I've tried it. Okay, So when you get horny or you get in that way where you want to have sex, that's your kundalini wanting to rise. So
Hmm.
subconsciously, what we do is we just jag it off, or we go get some pussy, or you girls, or where you go waste it.
Mm.
But if we were to now, when you're in that mode, meditate and you breathe it through the crown, so you breathe deep from your all the way to your spine, like,
Take notes, people.
and then you breathe it all the way, and you have the intention to, when you let it go through your spine, go through your crown, or you do something artistic, you know. What that does is that helps your kundalini activate and rise. So another way that you could use that to a good, like the porn industry, to a good, in a good way, is you view some things, you let it go, but then it gets you in that mode, and then you go draw, or you go meditate, you breathe.
That I did exactly that during the NoFap thing, dude, and it worked full. It worked.
Yeah,
You leave the house with that energy still there, and you're just like you're amped all.
exactly.
You're amped all day. It's great.
And the kundalini is like you said, the coiled serpent, the serpent that is sleeping. It is basically what you call in the Bible Gabriel's ladder, or oh, not Gabriel's ladder. Whose ladder was it? Was it fucking Joseph's ladder or
Jacob.
Jacob's ladder? Jacob's ladder was
Joseph, biased.
yeah,
You're
it's
naming a ladder.
Jacob's ladder is the ladder that your kundalini has to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So it is
Mm-hmm.
so his ladder in the physical body would be your spine, all the way.
Oh, well done, Richie. That's nice.
Thanks, bro.
That's beautiful and on the fly too. Well done.
Trying
Exactly.
to sharpen it next year.
That's what it would
2020.
be. It goes up, and then you have to just have an intention about how you're going to use that energy and what you're going to use it for.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Uh-huh.
Or here's another big thing. You take that blast of that energy, like say you're trying to activate it in another way through like masturbation or whatever, and you're getting to that point. Every man and woman knows that point. You know what I'm talking about. You don't go. You breathe that up into you send that energy up into your heart center. Watch what happens.
Feel what happens.
Yeah, feel what happens. Yeah, feel what happens. It's going to be a whole new experience. You can like when you're like manifesting or having, sexual intercourse with your partner, you guys can do that together. Send energy. It's like one of the different things when you're having sex with somebody is you should never be tired. You should never be drained. Like we think we should because like physically, like right then and there, yeah, like right after. But some people when they have sex, they're like drained for like days. And like that should never be the thing. But that it's an energy exchange, so you should be getting
Yeah.
something from each other. Like you should be juicing each other up instead of draining each other. Draining each other would be like being a vampire. You know?
All right, I added mastering your energy to the notes.
Yeah, master. Being a master of self, mastering
And,
your energy.
and the sexual energy is debatably the most powerful because it's just raw creative.
Exactly. And if we're talking about activating your superpower, that would be the number one key.
For sure. Even
Right?
even Napoleon Hill writes about that in a number of his books.
Yeah, exactly.
A number of his books.
Because everything that we see, like the being that we are, that was created through sex, through sexual energy. We all were.
I can't hear you, Richie.
All's well. All's well.
Oh.
Okay.
I think we're connecting two ideas. Like I just got back. I want to make sure I land in properly. If
Okay.
we're full of energy and somebody else is full of energy, and we like try to get energy from them, and then they try to get energy from us, is gonna fail.
Huh.
But if we are able to like get energy from beyond, from love, from within our space, then we have an infinite supply of energy to share with another person. So it's like wanting to give that love and compassion as a gift rather than a lust that you're taking and a desire that you're fulfilling from external circumstances. I also want to see if you would want to like do some super soft intention setting guitar playing for your loopy thingy that's got some kind of like power building, like something in an powerful way. I was trying to think about how we can dream craft this into something that has like the pick me up major like words and things. I really appreciate the conversation, and I know that contribute some more blues into it. It'll keep going. So
Nice. Yes. I don't know if you had something else. I'll ponder that. I'm trying to think what I can even.
What's your superpower, by the way?
What's that?
Your superpower. We got us
Yeah.
two. We need you.
What's my superpower?
Is
Uh,
it music?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I like this. I like. I was. That's what I was saying earlier. My goal, not superpower, was to simplify shit. And I was hoping that was my role, but I couldn't. That didn't translate to a very cool superpower.
I think that's either spirit or the fire of understanding, burning things down to their simplest raw form.
I do like fire, and I do like breaking shit down, metaphorically and physically speaking.
Sledgehammers at the junkyard.
Oh, dude, yes. Demolition is the best. Maybe that does fall under music because that's what a song is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to simplify in a couple stanzas, just
Yeah.
a world of feels and
Yeah, it's like maybe it could be like unlocking other people's potential through your music, like tuning your music to certain frequencies. You can unlock other people, and that means that energy will come back to you tenfold. Will be unlocked as well. Sometimes it's like our shit manifests. Like what we're good.
It's not
Oh,
comment. Only person with the instrument in his hand, so I got to make sure that we like making sure it's even, like we all hear. Yeah, tuning fork makes it happen. Sure.
We need more. We need more cowbell. Joseph, we need more Oh my god. All right, hold on. Let me see. Let me see if this is right. This one just it struck me real quick. Let's see. I'll try to keep it soft too.
So alchemy. You pushing it?
like I can't hear you, Richie. What did you say?
From your shop, when you are selling the colloidals, the silvers and things. How are those tinctures being sold? Doing well?
Oh, they're going really well. I got some more coming. I got a colloidal generator coming. So I'm gonna be having some silver, a bunch of silver, but hopefully I got some gold wire, 0.999 pure gold wire. If not, I'll have to buy some. But those are going really well. That's part of maintaining your superpowers. Like they open like on a spiritual level. There's the pineal gland. They're good for the crown chakra, all of your chakras. But like the gold per se is going to have your pineal gland radiate like information, but also being able to take it in at a higher frequency. Also it'll help merge your hemispheres of your brain, help you focus that energy, like overall giving you the power of focus. The power of focusing your energy is very, very powerful. Because if you have 1,000 different shots around, that doesn't do much. But if you have one focused punch, that could be something. It's like multitasking isn't good unless you can put focused energy to all of it at the same time, and it's like very, very beneficial. Let me see.
I'm multitask king, dude.
I have multiple different techniques. They're going amazing. If you just go on my Alchemy of Life code Etsy, you'll see the reviews on it. People have left their experiences there. From people who bought them. But yeah. And I'll be doing a sale on them. After I get off this live, I'm going to run a sale for the, end of the year. So I'll probably do like 15% off the whole shop. Or maybe like free shipping or something,
Get the colloidal. I ran out of your colloidal a while ago.
I got some. I'll drop my shop in the chat so everybody can see.
Christopher called us the Avengers. I don't think we're the Avengers. I think the Avengers are the bad guys in this storyline.
Yeah, I would rather be Thanos.
Speaking of archons, Alchemy of Life prefers to be Thanos, he who wants to kill half of the universe.
Well, Thanos was trying to balance the universe
by killing half of it.
That's what happens. You know, he was actually like
My love. What's
when you
up?
talk about the occult texts and the occult movies, it's always backwards because Thanos is a Titan. He's from planet Titan, so you know Titans are Oh,
Yeah, Atlas has some knowledge.
drop it, Atlas.
What happened? What happened, young Prince Titan? Atlas. Yeah?
No, no, no,
Oh
no.
no, my
No?
bad. So, alchemy wants to kill the whole world. He says, or half of all of the world. He says he's Thanos. How do you feel about that? All right.
He agrees with me, Keith.
He laughed, so I guess Atlas approves. The Titan approves. What was the music for, by the way, Richie? What? It was supposed to be in a building, a what? What or something?
It worked. It totally worked. I was looking at the multidimensional density properties of the reality that we were creating, and I saw that the acoustic dimension is one that you had previously utilized, and well, quite again, tapped back into, so I wanted to make sure we had more sounds going. It is great.
Roger.
Roger that.
Carry on, good sir. Oh, dude, look at that. Hold on, I'm gonna pin that.
Is John Smith in the building?
You know what's funny? Let me check because he was on last chat and he couldn't message. Like his messages weren't showing up. No, he didn't hit me up on WhatsApp. So
Okay.
yeah,
You
he was
gotta
like,
see-
"Hey, man." What?
You got to see if you can get your admin properties pushed to mine and Alchemy's account so that when we post links, they can be clickable. So that Agent Smith isn't the only one who's dropping clickable links. You know?
Oh yeah. Yep. There's my shop. You got some sea moss gel, elderberry sea moss
Oh,
gel.
on YouTube.
Correct, sir. And at another time, whenever that happens, just trying to find a way to amp up the squad. We got a little bit more admin permissions.
I can do
Oh,
it right now. Just one of you guys comment real quick. Both of you guys comment real quick,
Okay, cool.
and then I'll do make admin.
Get it done.
And done. So I got elderberry sea moss gel I just made. I got one more thing of sea moss gel. Got these tinctures, these master detox tinctures. I'm gonna put my label on them soon. Gotta cut them out and stick them on here. Parasite cleanse, overall reset your body. Got colloidals, detox tea, regular drinking tea on there. So yeah, got a bunch of stuff.
Add moderator. Boom, you're done. You're in.
Cool.
Absolutely in all gravy. And if Richie, you want to comment,
There we go. I got the blue wrench.
then I can add as well. Or unless I can find one of your previous comments in
It
here.
happened. I thrown a couple in there. You should be seeing them soon.
But definitely, it's like doing these type of talks. It's like most people would have like already left by now, like if they were talking, because a lot of people they speak like from their ego. So it's like if someone doesn't agree with that person, you know, someone didn't agree with what I said, I have to leave because they don't
Right,
know
they
what
ain't
they're
even trying
talking
to have the
about.
conversation. Right.
But like we can all disagree and still kind of agree at the same time.
No, we can't.
Yes, we can.
In the secret space program, they have regeneration tanks to bring people back from the dead. Pixar didn't happen.
What? Oh yes, Dream State. I do have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is the same as my name on here. So my YouTube channel is Alchemy of Life. So I'll go to my channel, get a video, and then I'll drop it in the chat so people can go to my channel. I guess since they're asking. Yes, I do have a channel.
Yeah, go check them out. Go subscribe. And now Rich and Alchemy are admin, and they can post clickable links too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
Christopher Padilla, thanks for chilling. I think you've been on live for quite some time. Appreciate
It
it.
is my channel, guys. I will be coming out with a new video probably within the week. But I've been gone for like a month, so a lot of the times it's like, what do I? It's like,
Alchemy, I'm your 332nd subscriber.
there you go. 333. That's gonna be a good number next.
Wait, I think I already subscribed to you. Otherwise, I'm not subscribed to you. Yo, 333. What up?
What up?
Dude, Los Tres Amigos, 333.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Well played.
That's
awesome.
Number 3 is the number of creation, and that's what we've been talking about lately, creation. You know, it's like, I would say, like, since we are the master of our own personal universe, that's what we take the time to sit with ourselves and ask ourselves, what do I want to create right now? Who I am, where I am in my life right now. Am I happy? You know, that's one of the hardest things to do. It's like, what do I want? Because you can go get that. Energy's out there, especially now, you know, where the energy's high.
That loop was getting to me. Subs. Oh, nice. We got some subs. Now you got 334.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. You know,
Yeah. I'm about to tail off. Should be short. Let's wrap.
Grateful.
Let's do a proper wrap because even those take forever to do. So let's start it now officially.
Okay.
When do you next plan to go live, Keith?
The Arcturians exciting news live. Phil Good is live right now with the Arcturians exciting news. How do you guys feel about the Arcturians?
I don't know. I haven't done any like research on them, so I don't know. I'm probably trying to channel them, see if I can come up with anything. I think that's a lost art right there. Like a lot of people, like in the age of information in Aquarius, I don't think we should use the touch of the feminine, like channeling energy. You know, channeling people's spirits and different things like that.
Dang, so channeling is a topic that I think is really interesting and that I think people should definitely explore more of. And maybe that'd be another topic to kind of chill and hard.
Yeah, my homegirl, Isabel Montero, her name is the Zero Manifested here on YouTube. The Zero Manifested is a dope channel.
Is that the one the
I told you about?
The exercising woman?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of like that. Yeah. She is dope. Like
demon exercising, by the way, not workout exercising.
She's like fucking saving lives out here. She is super dope. You know, I'll pin her channel because she is a dope channel. She's definitely one of those people that can help. Zero.
Okay, cool. Well, Phil, question: can you channel in a controlled manner? Yes. Bookmarked your Richie. Dope. Nice. Richie got your plugs in there too. Cool. So unless you guys have any other questions that are extremely pressing at the moment. Your question to me earlier, Richie, was when do I plan on going live again?
There's Isabel's channel right there. I just dropped it. So, you know, she's dope. 100% there.
Your link's not working.
Healing. Yeah, like, when are we going to go live and what are we going to do it on? Are we just going to chill or, you know?
Oh, my personal live or our next 3 trifecta live?
Our next meeting of the minds. It's going to be like a podcast.
Down for, it doesn't matter to me. Most evenings I have open unless I don't have them open. And I'm playing video games or something. Or sitting in the backyard under the orange tree, sipping tea, not wanting to do shit.
That sounds very healing.
It's nice, yeah. Sometimes like I'm just gonna sit here for an hour and not do anything.
Sometimes it's what we need. Like, you know, society tells us you're being unproductive, but you're actually being very productive.
I know.
Making sure you don't fucking pick up somebody's car and throw it.
When would you guys like to? We could do it. We're gonna next Monday. What's today? Today's Monday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually 7 days from today is a good dart to throw in. board, and then can reconvene along the way if it needs to
Yeah.
change.
I'm good.
7 days from today. Set. Yes.
Go to these guys' Etsy shop, buy their wares.
Oh yeah, these are our Etsy shops.
There you go.
I like how we're both code too. It's like we're just these two enterprises.
Hell yeah.
I was like, should I do Mana Letters Company or Mana Letters like shop? And I was like, something about co. I felt like I was unloading crates on Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
It's like Mana Letters Co. on one of the crates, just a wooden crate with stuff inside of
I was
it.
like, well, I wanted my YouTube name and my shop to kind of be the same because I'm building a brand. So I'm like,
Yeah, build that brand.
Co is kind of like, Co, yeah. And it fits. It has like a little distinction between here and there, but they're still the same, same.
It's all good. You remind people enough and they'll type in. Avanoma, thank you too. Stoked. Happy to have you here, Sarah. Alchemy. Lemuria Reborn. I think you've been here since we started. 2 hours holding it down.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Goddess Code, thanks for stopping in again. Maybe would you guys be down to get more people? I'll give Goddess Code a little interview. I'll give her a little interview. See if she's up to the task, Goddess Code. And I would like to get more people on the channel. It'd be dope. Get people space.
That would be.
I don't know if it'll be too much to have more than 3 people, or but I'm down for it.
The multiplayer Man of Letters manifestation of majesty.
Yes.
Well, any more than what we have now, we'll have a fucking Zoom panel. I'm down.
Dude, we'll be the almighty Zoom panel. We'll be the Zoom panel of Zoom panels at that point. There's all kinds of fucking magic blast. So cool, I'll get into contact with you guys because I browsed your Instagram and I was like, oh, nice. He seems like someone that would have some good things to say. So Moeski Zomps X Pronux, whatever your name is.
Called the panel.
Thank you, Ever Dream State. Thank you guys. What's up?
The panel of heroes.
Panel of heroes. I don't know if I'm that audacious to call myself a hero quite yet. Why not? Why not? You gotta start somewhere. So cool. Is that it? You guys want to share anything else on the way out?
Well, I think we kind of hit it on the head. Do your work. Do your work. Do whatever work that you're called to do. Like if you do anything, sit with yourself and ask yourself what it is that you want from this, your current reality, your heart, and where are you lacking? What are you lacking? That could take you so far just on its own if you actually do the work, like crazy.
Simple. I like it. Simple and useful. I love it, actually. Cool. Got it. Roger. Copy. And Richie, your ending statement. If there's one at all.
Thank you all for co-creating this awesome reality because we are fingers of a hand. Whether we're shining with the light or against the light, it doesn't matter so much as breathing and drinking water. If you need to get a hold of me, I'm at rainbowcrystal.org. Alchemy is
post that?
Oh, I got it.
What's that?
rainbowcrystal.org.
Oh, no, I asked if you posted that. I got you. Boom. Rainbowcrystal.org. That's where you can find Richie, you guys. And I put it in the comment section.
Gratitude. So much love. Excited for 7 days. Between now and then, have a good Yule. Have some good dream work. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out, Richie. Peace out, Joe, Joseph, Joe, Alchemy. All right, latest.
Later.